Привет, Yulia. Как дела? Today is Tuesday, February 14th, and may I say off the top of this video, Happy Thanksgiving from here in San Francisco. It's about 1:37 in the afternoon, and I wish I could say Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Lover's Day, and all of those things that make us think about our significant others and just, leave the video at that. However, today I want to talk to you about this message rather is about a subject that has led to a lot of families and a lot of homes being broken up. And the subject that I want to talk to you about today in today's video message on Valentine's Day is the subject of malice. And it is a very big subject because it's what I want to tie into the malicious behaviors that we see and that you're actually experiencing every day while you're in prison. And this malice that I want to talk to you about, I see it coming very strong out of the U.S. And this is something that you've heard me say already. But when it comes to today's message, I want to look at what are the causes for people in the U.S. to take on such a malicious attitude towards the world. And with that, I have to look into the subject of cancer and the subject of AIDS. First thing off the top, I want to read from you what Wikipedia says is the economic impact behind HIV and AIDS. And we'll tie cancer right along with it because we already know what causes HIV, AIDS, and cancer. And they all go together when we're talking about diseases that cause people to behave maliciously. Well, let's look at the economic impact and we'll find motive. It reads, HIV and AIDS affects economic growth by reducing the availability of human capital. Without proper nutrition, healthcare, and medicine that is available in developed countries, large numbers of people suffer and die from AIDS-related complications. They will not only be unable to work, but will also require significant medical care. The forecast is that this will probably cause a collapse of economies and societies in countries with a significant AIDS population. In some heavily infected areas, the epidemic has left behind many orphans, cared for by elderly grandparents. And it goes on and goes on into a couple of further paragraphs. But the main thing is this sentence here that says the forecast is that this will probably cause a collapse of economies and societies in countries with a significant AIDS population. And what this is saying is that because people no longer is able to produce capital because of their body, then there becomes a thing known as malice, which basically says the innocent deserves this hell that I'm living in. And I'll pause right there. The innocent deserves this hell I'm living in. Which makes me raise another question. Did Americans intentionally, I use the word privatize, okay? Because in America, I use the word privatize, in America is known as cable. You've heard me mention cable in one of my previous videos. This is, in other words, the way we communicate. Okay? Because then, once you understand the concept of cable in America, then you can understand a lot about, well, what's going on inside of the cable and who or what is the cable consisted of, what forms the cable. Okay? Now, I use the word privatize because most people in the world living in another country don't realize this is what's going on in America. So it's awfully private. But did they intentionally privatize in their cable system? In other words, communicate that we will spread AIDS, cancer, under the U.S. government plans of expanding capitalism? That's the question that I raise. Now I can get off and veer off into quite a few directions with this, but what I'm doing with this situation is I'm saying to myself, okay, we know that cancer grows, AIDS spreads, and it's through the human body. It's through humans. Okay? So the very first thing I begin to look at is we're going to cut every border out. There is no such thing as a border anymore. What I'm looking at is human migration, because those trails, human migration from the very beginning is well defined. Where have I been and which way did I go? Okay, that's the one thing when you go to the doctor and you say, hey doctor, I'm sick, I got a STD, the doctor is going to say, where have you been? Okay, so I'm taking the same approach when it comes to this doggone malice. Why? Because by malice you're in prison. So here I am looking at human migration. We know that America is not Europe. But when you come to America, the first thing they're going to say is, I'm only Europe. Why? Because when Christopher Columbus and even the German settlers, the Dutch settlers, the all of the settlers that was here prior, even when they got here, there was already humans who had migrated. Okay? So when America comes in and says, hey, well, we're Europe, okay, that's misinformation right there. Okay? Now, the problem that we have is when we look at where you been, in America, they can't even tell you. Because the truth is, now we on land. Okay, so let the party begin. But see, I don't necessarily have to go back that far to when did you first arrive here on this land. Because the problem that I'm having, and the real reason that I have this question, first and foremost, is because those who are here living in cancer, living in AIDS, first of all, did not see it. And that's the problem that I had. We call it how in the world could you not pay attention when there's something growing inside your body? Okay? Probably because when I first started feeling bad, I felt somebody should join me. So here we are. The only thing we're looking at is that we have very sick people in the world that feel like healthy people should be sick. Now, before I get, like I said, this subject, I really want to shoot, jump right in, shoot the gun, and say, here is where the bullet hit. However, before I pop the gun, I must first look at the whole situation. And as I look at the situation, I see an entire culture. We can call it gay culture. We can call it whatever. Okay? But what we can say for sure is that when one government is out in the world saying to the world, you need to be more like me, and you take a close look, and what's more like me? Slavery. Dead. Then we have a war. And let me say this, because as you can see, I'm in the middle of a big deal. But when you see that, hey, now there's a war behind this, what you'll see is Iran in position to attack Israel. And why is that? Because the truth is out. What's going on in Israel is the direct results or the direct effect of what's going on in America. And if I'm dealing with what I say the term I want to use, sore people who just have a sore, sour attitude, then this war that we're getting ready to head into will be won by those who are faithful to God. Because what I'm seeing at the bottom of this war that's about to kick off is malice out of the United States over AIDS and cancer. That because of alcohol and lifestyle, people didn't even realize what was going on inside the body. And we'll talk more about this later, okay? But this is what I'm on today and what's going on under my company. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.